when we lost each other, when you and me,
Yeah.
like Paul and me, were riding a riding a bicycles ahead,
Mhm.
and I was feeling a little bit stressed
Yeah.
because I knew it's on the countryside, it's a small town, it's gonna be hard to find accommodation if we get there too late.
Mhm.
So I was trying to push ourselves on the whole like first part of the trip
Yeah.
to getting to Onchuk. I was pushing. I felt a little bit harsh on Jeff and Paul because I mean on Jeff and Panu because I think they were tired and Panu's bicycle wasn't that good and
Yeah.
probably like Jeff's back tire got him like slower.
Yeah.
But I felt I had to do it because I felt it was the best for the group
Yeah.
because it was so freaking cold in the evening. It was like 5 degrees Celsius,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to like sleep outside.
No.
No,
So
we wouldn't be here if that would be the case.
would you okay? Would you do something like that again?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And if you had another chance, what would you change? Like if you could have if you know what you do now and you
Yeah.
could go back in time and do it all over again,
Uh-huh.
what would you change?
What I would change for this trip we did, I don't want to change anything. I
No?
think it was a great experience. It was just the way I hoped it would be.
Mhm.
Maybe even better. Because when we got to that ryokan and paid 2,500 yen for that accommodation,
Mhm.
I felt like, yeah, this is awesome. This is really cool. This is really an adventure. I
All
felt we
right.
succeeded and we got to sleep and it was just good. I
Yep.
just felt alive.
Well, that's good. All right. Is there anything more that you'd like to add?
Well, I really recommend people doing stuff like this.
Mhm.
It's an awesome experience. I mean, we're gonna remember this for the rest of our lives.
Mhm.
We're gonna tell this to our grandchildren and our
And then Jeff and
family back
Panu got
home.
lost, and I thought they flew off a mountain and died.
Or hit by a car or
Yeah.
something. We were worried, man.
Yeah, we were.
Oh my god. That was the scariest part of the whole trip.
Yeah,
That's the only time where I was feeling uneasy
yeah.
during the whole trip.
All right. Well, is that all?
Yeah, for now it is.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would say it was adventurous.
Adventurous.
Yes.
Why was it adventurous?
Well, I'll give you the reason why I wanted to go on this trip.
Uh-huh.
When I was little, my grandpa Feldman would he told me a story about one of his uncles or great uncles going riding his bike across the United States. I don't know if it was from New York to LA or LA or San Francisco to New York, but
Uh-huh.
either way, he rode across to America,
Yeah.
and I don't know how long of time, but he went across.
That's quite a trip. How long did it take for him?
I don't know how long it took, but ever since then I've always wanted to do something like that. So
to experience the stuff he did.
yeah, and you and me were jogging with Wes, I think, or
It
Christoph.
was in February, I
Yeah.
think, I believe, or
And-
January, even
And I
January.
said, I always want to do something like that, and I thought, why don't we do it?
Hmm.
And you said, sure, we'll do it. And I'm like, all right, well then we'll make a promise.
And we did.
And we did.
And we realized it.
Yeah. So that's why I say it's an adventure, because we didn't have a detailed map, we didn't have a compass,
Yeah.
we didn't have we didn't know the roads, we're not familiar with the area, we're not fluent in Japanese, and so all we had was our bikes, and they're not meant for riding that long a distance.
Yeah.
They're meant for just going to school and back for like students. And
Exactly.
We didn't know what we're gonna encounter. We didn't know which roads were the best roads.
Indeed.
So
And we didn't know if we were gonna be able to find accommodation.
I was never worried about the hotel, and I don't know why. I was never.
You said that
worried.
at Saint-Germain.
Yeah. I never had. The only thing I was worried about.
Yeah. What was
Well, like at first I thought we could make it there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we can do it. We can make it there in one day. But then, when I started to think about it more, I thought, do you think? I wonder if we could really make it there. And then, when we got about halfway there, and we were coming up to these Boso hills, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it, guys. You know, like we really had.
I remembered.
And Panu was having a hard time because of his bike.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you know, his
he's
tires
not like
were low.
trained.
Yeah, so, you know, and we're not, we don't do this. We're not cross country.
Yeah.
You know, we're not riding our bikes all over the place. So we're not used to riding our bikes that long a distance. So
That's true.
it was, but it was awesome though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had quite an adventure.
Yeah.
If there's like anything you would want to change, I mean, you could go back in time and change something during our trip, what would it be?
Yeah.
Is there something?
Well, what I wish we would have done is that I wish Panu would have checked the bike beforehand. I wish everybody would have had their bikes checked and ready to go. That's one
like
thing.
You did.
The other thing too is that even though that we're going to those convenience stops, I wish I would have made sandwiches like you. I wish I would have brought more food. I wish everybody would have checked their bikes. I wish that I would have brought another pair of pants. It wasn't anything bad. I was just like kind of, you know,
small details.
Sweaty, you know, like. And then the other thing that I wish we wouldn't have done is that I wish we would have stuck together, and I wish we wouldn't have gone ahead that one time and lost.
Yeah,
them.
when we lost each other. Yeah.
And that's it. I really didn't want a compass. I didn't really want a good map. I didn't want to like book a hotel because then it takes away the adventure thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to just go.
Yeah. You know what? That's why I wouldn't go back in time and change anything. Yeah. And any like comments? Like last comments?
The most fun for me, I think, was just riding and just setting out. Like it wasn't like it was cool to stay at the hotel. It was cool to see the beach, but that wasn't the high point. Like that, like even though that was the reason we went there, but like we could have picked any other place. Onjuku, it didn't have any like special thing. It wasn't like we were connected to it. Yeah, I mean, like, of course.
The history was interesting.
The history is interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Even so, I could have picked a totally different place.
Yeah, I know.
And so
it was just like random that we ended up at Onjuku. It was thanks to that poster.
The most interesting and fun part for me was just riding the bike and just not knowing where we were going and just riding.
We didn't know what we would like encounter.
No, we didn't know. We didn't know where we were going, and it was fun because, you know, usually you go to school and then you come back home, but it's never where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna ride my bike for a whole day and just go away from home. It's just something that's really interesting.
Exactly what we did. 10 hours.
Yeah, yeah. And the most frightening thing for me was when we lost Jeff and Panu.
Yeah, the most frightening thing.
Yes. Yes.
How did you feel?
Well, what happened was that it was getting really late. It was getting dark. It was getting really cold. There was no street lights. There was no sidewalk. We were like on the highway, and you know, every once in a while a car would zip past us.
It was pitch black.
And it was pitch black. You know, if we didn't have our lights and our bikes, we wouldn't have been able to see anything, really.
That's true.
And what was going on is that I was getting tired and I was getting hungry, and I felt like, you know, I wanted to just relax and just rest, but I couldn't rest because we had to get off that road and into Onjuku.
Yeah.
And so I was taking advantage of the momentum, like, of going down the hills, and I wanted to use every, like, last bit of it, because once we went down the hill, we'd have to go